Good evening, Lali Mohammed here from Deviant Productions, where we are at one of Toronto's oldest working class schools, Enoch Turner. Activists, authors, politicians, and grassroots artists all helped join Stephen Seaborn in celebrating the launch of his new anthology, Playing Fast and Loose with Public Education.
Where do you think education should be going in this city, in your community, and in this province in the next 10 years? Where would you want it to go? How can we get out of this mess that we're in right now?
We're now with the editor of this amazing and thought-provoking anthology, Stephen Seaborn. If there's one thing that you want your readers to take out of this anthology, what would it be?
It would be that schools belong to us. We funded them. Anyone who pays taxes paid for these schools. They're ours. They make our communities. And we've got to get the city government on side to see the centrality of schools for vibrant neighborhoods that serve all the waves of people who have come into our neighborhoods and make our neighborhoods alive.
Immigrant parents felt that once their children entered public school in an all-English-speaking environment, not only did they start to lose their ability to speak their first language, but worse, they would start to lose respect for their home culture. The parents thought the 2.5-hour-a-week program would help them bridge the growing gap between the generations. They were inspired by the ideals of multiculturalism and wanted public support and respect for the cultural and linguistic heritage they and their children brought to the school community.
Currently, Bonnie, do you think there are appropriate resources for kids and students with special needs in our system?
Actually, I think that there are not. We have far more special ed students than we've ever had before, and the funding is just not there for those kids. I have a huge concern that many programs have closed for students who have special needs, and when we close those schools, then those kids get dispersed all over the place. As a special educational assistant, I see that directly every morning.
This anthology of essays?
I think it's really timely. It's great. They've got amazing authors in this book. They've got Margaret Atwood and Linda McQuaig and David Suzuki and John Ralston Saul. So it's a really eminent list of authors that we have. Our system has never recovered from the Harris cuts. So it's really time to start rebuilding, and hopefully this book will help start a dialogue.
Liberal world order is undermining the lives and security of everybody as it replaces jobs with McJobs, permanent work with contract work, and security with deepening precariousness. Those with connections to the labor movement need to be fighting to ensure that the movement uses its resources to develop a social analysis that includes the importance of fighting for an education system.
Tim, you write and speak about how neoliberalism has changed our education system. What steps do you think we need to take as educators and as activists to reform the current system, and how do you think this new collection of voices is doing that?
Well, I think it's what's required is a change in orientation. When we were doing the work in the 70s and the 80s and 90s, we still thought of the education system as a way way of changing society. And I think we were able to do that because education was largely locally controlled, and so that it was something that we could influence, that we could organize around, and we could take over in some cases. What we've seen in this new neoliberal world order, in fact, is that the control of education has shifted dramatically. The funding, the control of curriculum, the major decisions are all made now, I would say, in corporate boardrooms and not in local sites and local schools.
And if we don't start talking about the future of this city, and if we don't frame it in the terms of our kids going to be smart, are they going to be healthy, are they going to be safe, are we building neighborhoods that deliver that, are we providing policing that delivers that, is the water we drink and the air we breathe clean enough to achieve those goals? If we don't have that debate in this city, we will have Rob Ford as mayor, and we will walk back into the dark days of the Mike Harris regime, and schools will go dark, and pools will be drained, and neighborhoods will be robbed of community centers that provide the cohesion that moves the city forward.
Seeing as time is so important and an election is coming up for school board trustees, do you think this is an important time to sort of push for change? And how do you see change happening?
There is a good question. Right now, the possibility, the window for change is for us to raise the tenor of discussion. It will be about the position of education in our priorities as a society. And that's what we hope to get from this.
As I stand here in this classroom that was originally built in 1848, I'm reminded about the importance education has had in our country. Authors like Margaret Atwood, David Suzuki, and Adam Vaughan push us to reimagine education and give us a sense of criticality in this amazing anthology, Playing Fast and Loose with Public Education. We hope you enjoy this book launch. In solidarity, this is Lali Muhammad from Deviant Productions.